Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I am multi-streaming again, once again on YouTube and Bumble, and I hope everybody can hear me good. And I'm going to play some videos while we give people a chance to get in to the chats, and I hope you all having a great night. So let's get the show on the road.
The Democrats are out of control. You saw that the other night during the speech when they wouldn't stand up for two of the young ladies were killed by illegal aliens, one with the cancer, the young man with the cancer, and all you want to do is stand up and applaud the man and the boy, the young boy. And nobody's ever seen anything like that. They're out of control. They've lost their minds.
How you doing? Look, let me start out by saying this. If I offend anybody today, I don't give a shit.
It has only been 44 days, but the president will have a lot to talk about tonight when he heads up to Capitol Hill to address a joint...
6 weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America.
Inaugurate a new president and vice president.
From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back. Members of Congress, and to my fellow citizens, America is back. Americans have given us a mandate for bold and profound change. Every day my administration is fighting to bring a future that America deserves. We are draining the swamp, and the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over. Over the past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. Despite the best efforts of those who will try to censor us, silence us, break us, destroy us, Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free. My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future because the golden age of America has only just begun. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America. ISIS is honoring President Obama. He is the founder of ISIS. He's the founder of ISIS, okay? He's the founder. He founded ISIS. And I would say the co-founder would be crooked Hillary Clinton. And they have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
I think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and HE in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it.
Good evening, folks. I hope you all are doing well, and I hope everybody on Rumble's doing well. And if you're over there, do me a favor and hit the follow button and give me a thumbs up, just like I seen a lot of people saying, KNS Cleanup, how you doing? Gary said, ha ha. And I tell you, we're going to be doing some laughing, I hope, very soon. Sissy, nice to see you. Be Charming is here. How are you? But I tell you, before we get to the laughing, we got some scary stuff we got to wade through. So let me see who all's in here. My chats keep jumping around. I left off at Be Charming, Robin. Nice to see you, Sherry, Darla, Marie, Kathy, Love, Tammy, Max in the house, Debbie, Doc, Sissy. Oh, Sissy. I said Sissy, I think 3 times. Wayne gives me a thumbs up every time, doesn't he? Yeah. So make sure you do like Wayne says. Give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. It's much appreciated. Kat, how you doing? Flannel Cheese, Angela. Nice to see you. Rebecca's here. All right. Well, last line of that video I just played said Trump said I'll clean it up, and yeah, that's going on in D.C. right now. They're jackhammering up that stuff. I got little video clips I can show you, and boy, Elon's under a lot of pressure. He is close. He's already, I think, found the key about what's going on. The key to their little slush fund system, and it's being exposed. Just about everybody that you see is coming out justifying the insane tactics, methods, beliefs of the left are on the TAKE. They're all being paid from this what is it, Act Blue, and that USAID, and I think Act Blue is the remnant of Acorn, which helped get Obama elected, supposedly a nonprofit. And you know what happens with nonprofits? They get money from the government because we're do-gooders. We do good. And so they say, oh, okay, and give them billions and billions of our tax dollars. And all they do is try to undermine our constitutional system and fleece us for everything they can fleece us for. So I've got on my thumbnail, I was going to put degenerates, but I thought that might be a little bit too harsh. So I just put up misanthropes. So, and I like this picture. I didn't even read the nameplate. It says Democrat Hood Rat. So here's a video I had yesterday. I didn't get a chance to play from this, what's her face? Here it is. What is her name? Jasmine Crockett. Here is her and AOC put this video up. What do you think of this video? What do you think it's giving a subliminal message for people? Isn't that a nice thing for a representative to put out with all this stuff that's going on, all the fire bombings at Tesla places? Don't forget, let me see if I got this picture of this creep in my studio. The creep that started with the fire bombs, claims he's a grand's tender or whatever they call themselves. I might have it here, might not. But here they are. This is the creep right here. This is the creepo. And Andy, no. They said ABC, the Citizen Free Press put this up. ABC needs to take a biology class. Woman caught trying to plant explosives at Tesla dealership in Colorado. Obviously, that is someone who doesn't know up from down. So I got a clip of that video, and that's why I'm a little bit late tonight, because I got a clip of a Fox News sharing a clip from NBC showing you how demented these people are on MSNBC. Here's something Trump put out. Shalom Mahmoud. And before I get to that clip with Fox News, I tried to check this out. You know, if I don't hurry up and get live, I'll never go live. It just gets too late in the evening for a lot of people. And I was saying, Mahmoud, let's see. That looks to me like an old picture, don't you think? And I looked up, well, who's in Iran named Mahmoud? And Trump said shalom means either hello or goodbye. Now, which do you want it to be? You want to say hello or you want to go goodbye, like to oblivion, okay? And he said that a couple of days ago, right? So we've seen these pogroms going on in Syria, and also probably things we haven't heard about. I would bet dollars to donuts that there have been foiled attempts on both Trump and Elon. And we know there was an attack on X today. And I'll show you the, well, I might have that video clip here where Elon thinks he, whoa, I got something here. There we go. Where Elon thinks the attack came from. But I'm sure it's multiple entities trying to cause trouble. But we'll keep them all on the map, right? Iran and...
There was a cyber attack on X today, which shut it down and may have been foreign sourced. Yes. It's a big story. You want to give us a moment on that?
Well, we're not sure exactly what happened, but there was a massive cyber attack to try to bring down the X system with IP addresses originating in the Ukraine area.
Ukraine area. And I think he said that for more than one reason. Because Ukraine's not a country, okay? It's an area. It's a territory. But I've been over that in the past. Here we go. Here's a clip from some degenerates that was captured by the War Room. And it's MSDNC. And you figure with, I showed the video of them busting the glass and raising the devil and the police getting involved, nobody getting arrested in New York, and the fire bombings of the Teslas. And you think they would say, hey, you know, it's wrong. That's not the democratic process, blah, blah, blah. No, listen to the way this guy puts the situation with Elon.
He's very rich. He's got control of X. Those are big assets to Donald Trump. But I got to say, how long Elon Musk is going to want to continue to see people attacking Tesla dealerships around the country, lighting Tesla charging stations on fire, painting swastikas on the sides of Tesla dealerships, and seeing the stock price plummet that way, impacting his personal wealth. I don't know.
Yeah, he says, how long is Elon going to want to put up with it? Not telling people that he's not condemning it. He's not saying they shouldn't do it. And he's pointing out that it's impacting Elon's personal wealth. How long is Elon going to put up with this? What does he want Elon to do? He wants Elon to stop what he's doing, exposing the theft, okay? That's what he's insinuating. How long is Elon going to put up with it before he gives up? So that's his message. What a creep. Typical commie behaviors. But anyway, here's a puked out video. And I started it out. Showing this one on the right of your screen is singing in joy. And the one on the left is laughing. And when he gets to this point in the clip, the one in the brown shirt on the left was getting ready to comment and feed in, but you could tell a producer was just telling them to shut up. And Mr. Potato Head in the middle, I'll just play it and comment here and there, stop the video here and there. But anyway, here you see these concerned citizens for all this violence, arson, vandalism, domestic terrorism, on and on. Here's how they react, and then you'll see the Fox News clip.
That's good. That's good. We got it. We understand.
Onto this, anti-Elon Musk protesters are taking their anger out on Tesla cars and dealerships. We have brand new photos of the man accused of firebombing a Tesla dealership in Salem, Oregon, causing $500,000 worth of damage. Surveillance photos show the suspect walking towards the Tesla dealership before Molotov cocktails were thrown at the building, a red Tesla bursting into flames, and then the suspect allegedly threw a rock and shattered the dealership window. When investigators arrived on the scene, they found more Molotov cocktails in the parking lot.
And on top of this...
That's the creep that Andy No exposed, and I showed you all a picture of him in his makeup. And yeah, television shows, I'm going to get to that young man lost his life today, much like Seth, okay? And the other half of his name is Rich. So I'll get to that also.
Violence. The liberal media is now mocking Elon Musk, celebrating the failure of SpaceX's latest rocket launch. Watch.
Tonight, Elon Musk blew something up and disrupted the lives of thousands of Americans. For the second time in less than 2 months.
Did you hear that obnoxious exhalation with her eyes closed? Making fun of this person. They are doing this to go up and rescue people who have been left in space. And the nerve of this degenerate on the screen to say that Elon is putting people's lives at disrupting thousands of lives. But anyway, the people on Fox News do a good job of painting it out. It just makes me sick when I see her make those holier than thou expressions, faces, noises. But anyway.
A rocket launched by Elon Musk's company SpaceX exploded and rained potentially dangerous debris down over a wide area of Earth, causing real chaos for planes and airline passengers.
It is the second consecutive Starship test flight from Elon Musk's company to end with destruction. All I could think about was, I can't sing.
No, please don't. That's good. That's good. We got it. We understand how painful that was for y'all out there. Just as watching these things blow up. His response to all of this was rockets are hard. And Mr. Musk, if they're so hard, why don't you go back to your day job and work that out? And leave those of us who do government to do government, because you can't do both.
This piece of garbage talking about doing government. These people are dog whistling now. That's a real dog whistle there. Okaying everybody to dogpile Elon Musk, people that support Elon Musk. Okay, they put this divisive narrative through. They were all on board for taking away our rights during the illness, okay? And deep down in the back of their minds, they knew it was all to screw up the economy, and they accelerated how people lost their lives by putting the old and vulnerable in bad positions and didn't give a damn. So anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll let the Fox News crowd take care of it.
Wait, he doesn't do government. I thought they got rid of him at the RNC because he doesn't do government.
A TV host, yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Nobody would ever confuse me with doing government. I mean, unless I wanted to.
You wouldn't lie about it either.
No.
But, here's the thing. It's so patently unacceptable, I think, to root for any kind of damage like that, because there's a real fine line between burning cars in the parking lot and, oh, it's only, damage to things. What if someone was working late? What if you threw and the wind gusted? There is no end to the possibilities. And for there to cheer failures of that rocket ship, for them to cheer burning of Tesla car, there is no place for that here.
So the question that I have, and the liberal network that, look, and never by the grace of God could go anybody, but right now they're failing miserably and firing their people. So I couldn't be all wrong on that. But why would you wish for the death of the American economy? Why would you be against Americans? I don't think this is new. This is like when we saw the big crop up of anti-Semitism in this country last year. Where do you think it lived? Right next door. So these people who hold these views against America, this isn't like some rash that just came on. No, this is an infectious thing that's been around for a long time, and this is how they really feel. So think about that when they try to get you to vote for them, or as Michael Steele tries to convince you that he's in government. Think about that. He's a talk show host.
And innovation does not come, obviously, without trial and error. There are multiple no's before the yes. Every superstar has that story. Professional athletes, Olympians, and the like, including our space program, like the Mercury program, where there were explosions and losses of life. So to mock this trial and error period for someone that is putting themselves out there for the betterment of society, to me, just shows how ignorant these talking heads are, how embarrassing that they are, that they're continued to be given amplified positions.
Yeah, I mean, what they're trying to do is they realize they don't have a message.
They weren't just mocking it. They were celebrating it. She was singing a song of celebration. And all this degenerate stuff we've been seeing with talk about that kid that survived cancer and what you're seeing with people trying to justify attacking Tesla owners and all this it's all coming from MSDNC. So we'll see. It's getting close to the point where somebody's got to do something because these people are inciting.
As we talked about, to the American people. So what they're trying to do is make Elon Musk this boogeyman. And they want him to be the boogeyman, just maybe kind of drive up turnout from Democrats in midterms and have really stoke fear as if Elon Musk is doing something so spooky when really all he's doing is trying to make our government more efficient, trying to root out a lot of the waste, fraud, and abuse. And so what do? You just start running these stories, mocking someone who is really, as you said, trying to focus on American innovation, which is something that benefits all Americans, not just one side of the aisle, but all Americans Iranians benefit from these types of explorations. And so it's sad to see somebody on the news making that kind of play.
Yeah, that's the first time I heard that. Michael Steele, leave government to those of us who do government. Mr. Steele, we tried that. And you know what you gave us? $36 trillion in debt, $9.1 trillion in inflation, 8 million people crossing the border, the fall of a country and the death of 13 heroes, and wars in 2 others. So we've let the government people try, and they've failed. Now let Elon Musk and Donald Trump, and rooting against SpaceX, for those who did that in that soundbite, they're trying to get 2 astronauts who have been stranded since the Biden administration out of space. So don't you dare root against SpaceX. Root for those 2 astronauts.
Yeah, and if you are showing up to a Tesla dealership dressed all in black, throwing Molotov cocktails and causing a car to explode, that's not just vandalism. That's a threat against somebody's life, and it should be treated as such.
Terrorism. Amen.
Apparently, there are so many threats against Elon right now, according to Lawrence, that his private security team had to be deputized. They could bring their gun to more events around the president. So it's just very unfortunate. This rhetoric only causes more damage.
Which is why it's incumbent upon those figures to understand the influence they have and to condemn all of this violence and to not cheer for failures.
Exactly right. Condemn it. Condemn it. But MSNBC isn't. They're egging it on. They're egging it on. There's Kristi Noem. Yeah, what did she do? She revoked some more security. We'll get into that too. So things are moving. Things are accelerating. Look at this idiot right here. Look at this piece of garbage right here. Look at the face on him. You talk about somebody that's possessed by a demon. This was a family with kids in the car, okay, in New York. This is what they think it's okay to do. Some drippy little hippie running beside a car and scaring the hell out of people. Boy, I'll tell you what. Well, here's a young lady here. She's tiny. I noticed that when I upload the video. I said, my gosh, she looks like, look how big that chair is. But anyway, here's what she's got to say for Tesla.
Hi, I'm inside of my brand new Tesla I bought to support Elon Musk and Doge. Radical leftists are Marxist communists. They want to shut you down if you do not comply to them, if you're a threat to their corruption, their money, their special interest. You know, I could not access to my X this morning, the only free speech app in the whole world right now. So I'm going to go buy some more Tesla stocks and support them whenever I can. We must win as the free people.
Yeah, I never was a fan of Tesla myself, as those of you who have been with me for a long time know. But hey, there's a lid for every pot. And if somebody wants an electric car, they're fast, they zip down the road, they got all these space age features. I personally think you can't beat it for in-town driving or near your home or things like that if you got a way to charge it. I just was a person who spent a lot of time on the roads, traveled long distances, needed a multi-purpose, reliable 300 to 600 mile, if needed, vehicle. So, no, I didn't care for them. But there is a place for them, and people enjoy them. They think they're cool, and now they're being persecuted. And, of course, it's nothing compared to what's going on over in Syria, which we talked about last night. But I want to ask the chats, who is this Mahmoud? Speaking of Syria, because I looked up, there were Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. He's the one with the narrow eyes set together that was involved with the hostages back during Jimmy Carter's day in the 70s. He's still walking around. Then there's a Mahmoud that's the president of Palestine. And then there's another Mahmoud. I don't know. This is an old picture, I believe. but it is a message from Donald Trump to whoever this person is on the screen. It's not a contemporary picture. Oh, speaking of contemporary pictures, here's how J.D. Vance responded to all the memes of people putting his face on different things. So he clapped back at him with a DiCaprio meme, and maybe he'll get to put the Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's holding a drink and making a laughy face. Maybe pretty soon he'll be able to do that when we see some people getting hauled off. I don't know. It's coming up soon, because stuff like this, we got to keep putting it out, right? Put this on your Meta right here. Get a screenshot, because it's a fact. AOC going from a broke bartender to a net worth of $29 million in less than 6 years on $174,000 salary tells you everything you need to know. Okay, and don't forget about the hood rat. Where's that hood rat? There you go. Don't forget that one. Okay. So, anyway, here's a picture of that Crockett woman right here. Here, look at there. Like worms in a clump of dirt. Alexander Sorosio. Okay. How many millions she got in the bank? I heard it was around 9 million. So, anyway, before I get to anything else, I'm going to talk about this young man right here. This is somebody that they said was one of the best writers for InfoWars. A young man who lost his life last night. You'll hear the time in this report I'm going to play by Alex Jones. I don't know if I'll get in trouble for putting it up, but it's the only real synopsis of what has happened, because there's not been a lot of reporting on it. When Elon Musk put out his tweet about why are liberals so violent? Legacy media propaganda is a major part of the problem. That was in response to whole Mars catalog said, why are liberals so violent? People just want a safe, clean car. Leave them alone. Time news should be watched closely by the police. And that was retruthed by this young man who lost his life, Jamie White. So let me see where I have that video. Here we are. Here we go. Have you all heard this particular clip yet from Alex Jones? I'll go ahead and play it, and he'll describe what happened and why he thinks it happened.
The InfoWars family of viewers and listeners into the world with some really horrible news. There are a lot of really cool people that have worked at InfoWars over the years, and one of the most amazing people was Jamie White. You know him as a great reporter and researcher. He was up here last night working late during the Sunday show and after it. And we even have his last post on X where he responded to Elon Musk. Jamie was murdered last night outside of his home, just a few miles away from our studios. And we are the folks here breaking that news first because his family has been notified, and his good personal friends here that were very close to Jamie have talked to his folks and family. We sent some people over phone, promote freedom, and when they got to the apartment complex, there was yellow tape everywhere and blood all over the parking lot. And we went and talked to the manager. They didn't know anything. Just like everybody else we see in the left, they just very laissez-faire. But our crew members saw a police officer and went and talked to them, and they made a phone call, and she had the details when she talked to him and knew Jamie. The police officer said yes, he died at the hospital very soon after they got him there. The police responded within 2 minutes, and they had him at the hospital where he was pronounced dead within 18 minutes. Just want to say the police did a great job in the response time, despite, I'm going to talk about in a moment, who I hold responsible for this, and who is responsible for this, and who are accomplices to Jamie and so many others' murder, and so many others that have been raped and mugged. Heard me on air talk about how the crime is very, very bad here in Austin. Any leftist city is, and just exploded the last 4 years. But let me just tell you what happened to Jamie, what we know so far.
Now, I didn't have a way to bleep those words out, so I don't know what's going to happen, folks. Remember, I've got a backup channel, and also I have my Rumble channel, so we'll see.
His last post on X was 16 hours ago. There's Jamie's X account. I've sworn upon the altar of God eternal hostility against every form of tyranny over the mind of man. Original gangster Thomas Jefferson. And I mean, I'll just say it. Jamie was our best writer and reporter. They're all great, but they all said he was the best. I mean, there's others that are almost as good, but not as good as Jamie. And he wrote 6-7 articles yesterday, posted all this news, did all this great research, gave us information for the show, assisted us in what we were doing. And we came in this morning, the crew looked really upset, and they said Jamie didn't come in. And so we sent one of the crew down there. And didn't look good. And then they didn't even want to tell me yet that the cops had said, no, it was Jamie White. We were the first to learn. We waited until the afternoon until the family's been told. You saw a little clip from the newscast about this in the early morning hours, and it's just Austin Police Department officers responded to a high-priority emergency call at approximately 11:57 p.m. Sunday night. The call was shoot, stab, hot shot, which refers to a high-priority potential life-threatening call involving possibility of an active shooter or stabbings. Officers arrived about 2 minutes later.
I'm not playing this clip because of Alex Jones. I'm playing it to honor a young man who's lost his life.
And found a male victim, obvious signs of trauma, according to APD Public Information Officer Leah Ratliff. Officers attempted life-saving measures before the victim was transported to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead at approximately 12:19 a.m. Monday morning. Homicide detectives are actively investigating the incident, which marks Austin's 8th homicide of the year. Authorities have not released information about potential suspects or specific nature of the victim's injuries. This is pretty early on in the investigation, and the homicide unit will be releasing more information as they're able, Ratliff said during a media briefing. Well, we've talked to the police off record. We know more. I'm going to reveal that right now. Multiple police officers we've talked to, detectives, said off record that we said, we're really sick of this, we're tired of this, and they said we are too. We have had in the last few years our funding for crime scene people and responders cut back massively. They made the biggest cuts in areas that deal with violent crime, as we know from the news, but this was them telling us, and that they will bust really hardened people with huge rap sheets committing serious crimes, robberies, armed robberies, and that the Austin DA, who, despite all the pressure and everything, is very proud of himself. Soros put him in on record, financed his run, does nothing. In fact, they just intensify it to the point the governors had to put the state police in to Austin just to try to deal with it. And then the state police really don't know anything but writing tickets, so they just write tickets. And I've been really talking about that being a very, very sad thing.
Yeah, what's the chances that it was random. I think it's very small. He was working late. He was busting his rear end to put out information to people. And he was a worker. He was working hard. And he did 6 stories yesterday, and was working late. And somebody, I think, was laying for him. Well, we used to say laying for him. And it's hopefully they'll get to the bottom of it. They never got to the bottom of who offed Seth, and then the other half is Rich. So we'll see if that's the case in this situation. Here's another. People are going to take advantage of this Tesla business, and just like they took advantage of the rhetoric against conservatives, is what I believe caused this young man here to lose his life. Okay, but anyway, criminals. It appears this is 44 tires were removed in a Tesla parking lot. I don't know if this has any sound or not, but let me play it and you'll see. And I don't see where this was an act of vandalism. It might have been both. It might have been to vandalize, but also profit. They're figuring, why cut the tires up? We can take them off and sell them and make money. Nobody likes Tesla anyway. So whoever it was had the wherewithal to bring a lot of cinder blocks. It looks to me like they left them suspended in the air. They didn't just drop them on the ground. Or I believe it's cinder blocks underneath those vehicles. But how much is a Tesla tire? Are they different? I don't know. I think they just left them on the blocks to expedite their theft. It's bizarre. But still, it's targeting. It's targeting. What? Oh, anyway. How you doing, Tennessee? Nice to see you, Jersey Joe, Miss Mendersue. Lone Wolf, nice to see you. So, I tell you, I saw a report on what's going on in Syria. And, to compare what's going on in our country to Syria's, you can't compare it. I mean, it's awful. It's horrible. But this is how it gets started. When people are scapegoated. And maybe that guy in the picture I put up earlier is this guy right here. I don't know. I've seen this guy's face in a number of the videos that are way, way too graphic for me to show. And I've seen him personally doing awful, horrible things. But anyway, on CBN News, Christian Broadcasting Network, the truth about Christians losing their lives in Syria, they talk about one instance where a woman was pulled over by a bunch of these thugs and asked her if she was an Alawite, which is a Muslim sect that what's his name, Assad belonged to. And she said, no, I'm a Christian. And they let her drive on. So apparently it depends on which pack of animals gets a hold of you. They're indiscriminate. Some of them are indiscriminate. They'll go after what they consider to be Muslims that are not good enough, plus Christians, Some of them are only looking for just Christians. Some of them are just looking for Alawites. So it's anarchy. It's vicious anarchy. And we're seeing a juvenile version of it. But, there's hopeful signs. Here's 2 videos. You see the name on the lamppost there, Black Lives and then Matters. This is what Trump was posting. It's 1 of 2 videos. I play them both. That Black Lives Matter they painted in D.C. was immense. You see those yellow lines? Each one of them are 1 letter. Look how they're, 25 feet tall and 10 feet wide, each letter? And Trump said, get all that crap up. So they've been working on it for days. It turns out with the bricks, they can't get that paint color out. And if they just go to replace 1 brick, it's still going to have the outlines of the so-called message. So here they are. Trump posted this. They're ripping it up and throwing it in a dumpster. So much time wasted on that kind of garbage, all taxpayers' money. David, what? Oh my goodness, you're a mess. What happened? Oh my gosh. All right. Well, David, we will certainly keep her in our prayers, and I hope she recovers well. My goodness, that's horrible. That's horrible. No, you don't tar over brick, Wanda. It's brick for a reason. It's the like a Williamsburg type. To have DC like it was when George Washington and Lafayette and all them put it in. They have brick instead of asphalt and concrete in a lot of areas, and they're going to make it back the way it was. Back the way it was. Yeah, David, you take care, buddy. And I'm glad she's with you, okay? You know what I'm saying? I'm glad she's with you. And in a way, somebody was looking out for her, really. Sounds like a heavy hit, right? So hopefully you'll have enough vigor and youth on your side, to get through it. Because it's not like it was 20 years ago. I mean, we're much healthier now, and we're going to get even healthier as type of food we have and this mental stress. What I was told sometime a time when my father was in a bad way. A lady said, an old lady, she's still alive. She must be getting close to 100. She's in a home, but she said, tell your father to be kind to himself, be kind to himself. And that was 30 years ago, 25 years ago, and she's still alive. And so I guess sounds like good advice, right? Be kind to yourself. So anyway, but we're not going to be kind to these people that are causing all this trouble and disrupting our lives, are we? Let's see what's going on here. General Flynn, when Elon had put out the word that there was a massive cyber attack against X, we get attacked every day. But this was done with a lot of resources, either a large coordinated group and or countries involved. General Flynn said, check to see if the CIA, a lot of people like us will go, duh, but that's not who General Flynn is posting for. General Flynn is posting for the people that are not awake yet. Okay? Check to see if the CIA was acting behind the scenes before going off on China or Russia, please. There is a silent war still going on inside the United States to undermine the administration of Donald J. Trump. Right, folks? And he tagged Tulsi Gabbard, Pam Bondi, and J.D. Vance. And we know, at least I have confidence, that General Flynn is very active, and I think he's a SAO, specially appointed officer, just like Elon Musk is. I was watching Robert Gavoya today, and there is a lawsuit against Elon Musk to have him excluded from the Doge situation. And Gavoya read the counter argument by the Trump administration, and it's just like I was saying 3 years ago. In their motion, they put in there a lot of historical references, okay? Went back to Lyndon Johnson using consultants and friends, and they talked about first ladies. They went back to, what's his name, Woodrow Wilson's administration, and Abraham Lincoln, and they even went so far back as to go to Andrew Jackson, okay, using civilians and getting their advice, and them not being doing anything to violate the Constitution. The example I used 3 years ago when I first got into doing videos was George Washington, and his right-hand man was not anybody approved by Congress, except maybe his pay, but he was a specially appointed officer. I called it at the time directly appointed officer in the Revolutionary Army, and his name was, can you all guess the name of George Washington's right-hand man, and that he appointed directly in the field to be his number one advisor? See if you all guess it. And I was a little perplexed as to why the Trump administration didn't include that. But then again, I thought, well, Washington was not yet president, okay? He was not yet president. Theodosius is close. Lafitte is a historical person. Maybe you misspelled something. I don't know. So Trump is putting out the little victories while you all are cogitating on that. The Black Lives Matter thing being demolished, and Muriel Bowser bowing to his will. And he reposted this New York Post thing today. Border crossings dropped 90% after Trump crackdown. Was it something I said? And that is going to keep it in people's minds. They were trying to scam us. They were trying to scam us by passing a border bill with billions of more attached to it that would disappear in the ether when all it really needed was a president to say that's over with, it's done. And I see a lot of good guesses, but Melinda got it. Lafayette, a Frenchman, a young Frenchman, I believe he was 21 years old. And I might get a copy of the first video I got. I went live with another creator and I discussed 11.3, Laws of War, where everybody thought that Biden was going to get kicked out. And I discussed how Lafayette cut his own blanket in half and gave it to a sentry so the sentry would not freeze to death in Valley Forge. So anyway, that's where the concept, as far as the American military goes, of a directly appointed officer and the president, the commander-in-chief, can take advice from whoever in the hell he wants. And that's pretty much the, in a nutshell, what the filing in Judge Chutkin's courtroom. Judge Chutkin. And I'm going to be interested to see how that turns out because I think she has been, she's had a little talking to, right? Had a little talking to. Oh, I wanted to put this up. This is that creep who replaced Justin Trudeau. What's his name? I don't care what his name is. Crabtree or something like that. I forget what his name is. But anyway, he's a new wigged out liberal prime minister. And here he is socializing. Do you all recognize anybody that he's with? He's with his wife. I believe this picture was in 2013. Yeah, that's right, Doug. Alexander Hamilton was Washington's aide-de-camp. But that is the one choice I didn't care for that Washington had. Because Alexander Hamilton was all up with the central banks and stuff like that. Melinda gets it again. Sissy got it. Miss Mindersue got it. Television shows got it. Television shows got it first. Ghislaine. Maxwell House Coffee. That's right. Worms in a clump of dirt, folks. Okay? Just like that little lady that was starting up her Tesla was saying. They're all a bunch of communists, and we got to resist them. Here you go. Let's see. There we go. What the heck? Let me try that again. Here we go. Chelsea Clinton has been receiving just $77,000. I'm sorry. Monthly payment from the General Services Administration for 26 years. Nobody can figure out why. But please, tell me again, there's no fraud. How there's no fraud? There she is. Put that on your Meta. Now, let me see what else I've got. Here's something else to put on your Meta. Most of you know this, but, you just put that stuff up there and leave it. Okay? People will start putting two and two together. We got receipts. We got dates. On December 29th, 2012, Barack Obama signed H.R. 4310, The 2013 National Defense Authorization Act authorized the use of propaganda inside the U.S. Why would you do that to your own country? Hi, New Institute. How you doing? Hi, Bill. Nice to see you. Angels here. Yeah, which had previously been banned since 1948, when it was the Smith-Month Act. So I know you're tired of seeing that face up there. So before I take down the new prime minister with Ghislaine Maxwell, this is another one for you to ponder and also place on your meta. Your meta. So, Thomas Sowell, it's interesting how Clarence Thomas, Thomas Sowell, all these intellectual giants who are people of color are ignored by the media and by schools. And I've been over that before. The welfare state is the oldest con game in the world. First, you take people's money away quietly, and then you give some of it back to them flamboyantly. Yeah. How little did he know that the word flamboyant would be a big part of their strategy, if you get my drift. But anyway, here's a young lady. And I like putting up my normal young ladies, right? She's describing a history. And some of you might find it a little bit boring. And she leaves some things out, but you can't go over the history of communism and how it has infiltrated not just the United States, but how it's destroyed Europe in a 5-minute clip. But she does a pretty good job. So enjoy this, and I might interject here and there.
There is one question on everybody's mind right now in the wake of the Alawite Muslims being massacred in Syria, as well as Christians, as well as Druze, as well as Kurds, in the wake of Iranian singers being flogged for making music, in the wake of Afghan women being forced to cover their faces and prohibited from speaking in public, in the wake of Congolese Christians being massacred, Nigerians by Boko Haram, and the list keeps going. That question is, where are the humanitarians? Where are the social justice warriors? And there is one simple answer to that question. Do they not see it? Do they not know? No. They see it. They know. They're silent for a reason. Why? Because on the other end of that are Islamists, and Islamists are their ally. Are you ready to do this deep dive? Because by the end of this video, you're going to understand everything about their silence. So to understand where we are today, we're going to need to do a little bit of background. It begins with the Soviet Union, which was established in 1923. Now, why was the Western left so enamored by communism and Marxist revolutions in the Soviet Union? It's very simple, because you first have to understand what is the ideology of Western leftists. Their ideology is anti-Americanism, anti-Westernism. Now, that's not necessarily the words they use. What they use are anti-colonialism, anti-imperialism, anti-war. Well, isn't it interesting how all of these ideologies and regimes that they support just happen to be the biggest imperialists and colonizers in the world? So after the Soviet Union was established, because it branded itself on anti-imperialism, Western lefties loved it and they lapped it up. Why? Because it was the enemy to Americanism. It was the enemy to Westernism. So they allied with the Marxists and the communists. So as communism begins to spread predominantly between the 1920s and 1970s, what starts happening is that these regimes start to set up Potemkin villages for Westerners to come and visit and praise how amazing everything is. What is a Potemkin village? Have you ever seen that movie, The Interview, with what's his name, where they go to North Korea and they have the fake fruit in the stalls? It's essentially a fake village that's created to provide an illusion to the outside world that what's happening in that country is magnificent, when in fact what's really happening is death, devastation, and destruction. So it begins with Westerners traveling to Stalin's USSR, where at the time the Russian proletariat and Ukrainian farmers were being starved en masse in one of the biggest man-made famines in history, when millions and millions and millions were being killed or died under these collectivization policies. There was also the Great Purge, or the Great Terror, where within a period of 2 years, Stalin massacred up to 1.2 million Russian dissidents.
Remember when I discussed about commissars? And every village and every town had a commissar. And if you were found to have more potatoes than they thought you should have, that they took care of you right away. So, yeah, that's what she's talking about, part of what she's talking about. Let me start it back up again.
Putting people in concentration camps, in gulags, in labor camps. And guess what the Western leftists were saying when they were visiting these Potemkin villages? Oh my God, USSR is a bastion of freedom, safety, peace. Lies. It didn't stop there. The pattern just continued as Mao was massacring millions and millions of Chinese in the Laogai, which was essentially a re-education reform camp, which up to 50 million Chinese passed through, terrorized, murdered. And guess what the Western leftists were saying upon visiting Mao's Potemkin villages? You step into a world of safety, stability, enthusiasm, clean streets, clean talk, and positive thinking. Meanwhile, Mao had been responsible for the deaths of 70 million Chinese. Can you just put that into perspective? It didn't stop there. They would visit North Vietnam and talk about how remarkable it was under the communist regime. They would talk about Fidel Castro's Cuba, despite the fact that 2 million out of 11 million Cubans had fled, while Castro sent helicopters to drop sandbags on Cubans fleeing in shark-infested waters. Guess what the Western leftists were saying? Viva la revolution. What's to be understood from all of this? The Western leftists would always support the enemies of America and the enemies of the West, even when it meant supporting totalitarian, authoritarian, communist regimes. And then you say, well, but those were Marxist and communist leftists, so of course they supported Marxism and communism out in the world. How does that bring us to Islamists? I'll tell you how. Even though Islamists and leftists aren't technically ideologically aligned, they are aligned in one thing and one thing only, and that is their hatred for the West. So they aren't ideologically aligned, but they're aligned in their goals. So just as the left would try to cover up the disaster of communist regimes, so too do they continue to cover up the disaster of Islamist regimes. What do they get out of their alignment with the Islamists? Well, they see the Islamists as the reactionary force that's going to destroy the West. So once the Islamists bring down our Western systems, then the leftists believe that they're going to be able to implement their Marxist systems, not understanding that the Islamists would kill them all in the end anyway, which is exactly what happened in Iran in 1979 when
It's called The Fate of Useful Idiots, what she's talking about. And remember the word taqiyya. You can lie. Lying is the shield of faith. It's the shield of faith. And the Islamists will cozy up to whoever will help destroy and degrade Western society. The leftists think, oh, gee, they're like us. They want to have a socialist society. So come on in. But just like she's saying, at the right time, they'll take everybody out, including the egghead lefties.
When the leftists collaborated with the Islamists to bring Khomeini's regime to Iran, and guess what Khomeini did as soon as the revolution was successful? Killed all the Marxists and the leftists. But here's what's essential. Because of that collaboration, because of that anti-Westernism, because of that anti-Americanism, the leftists must continue to make the Islamist regimes look like the good guys. That means no matter what they see in Iran, they're not going to say a word. Syria, they're not going to say a word. Afghanistan, Sudan, Nigeria, not going to say a word. But I just want to quickly add the point that it isn't just the leftists. We also have the woke right that are complicit in anti-Americanism and anti-Westernism, except they still believe that they're being pro-American. Because if you understand the political horseshoe, you understand that the extreme left and the extreme right meet at the lunatic fringe. And at the lunatic fringe, they actually inherit each other's ideas. And that's why you see the far right and the far left now aligning in supporting Islamist regimes. So now you understand why the humanitarians and social justice warriors of our time will not say a peep. It goes without saying that this anti-Western propaganda that elicits these ideologies is deeply, deeply problematic. And it's exactly what led to the support for October 7th and the infinite silence for all victims of Islamist regimes.
Yeah, so basically, she went around Robin Hood's barn with what she said. The lefties support anybody who is going to bring about communism in their mind. They think not a peep about what happened October 7th, not a peep about what's going on right now in Syria, okay? Because the people that are getting hurt and injured and losing their lives, women, children, old women, old men, anybody that they want, you know they can see it happening. The videos are everywhere. They're not hard to find, and they're disgusting. But nobody's saying a word about it because the people that are doing it, they think are going to move forward socialist and Marxist ideology. If they could stop a Tesla and drag the people out of the Tesla and do horrible things to them, they would do it. If they could get away with it, even if they thought there was just a risk of getting caught or getting away, either one, they would do it. We're on the cusp of violence like this country's never seen before. And anyway, I didn't mean to get that much ideology going on, but we got to talk about it at some point. Speaking of which, our judiciary is, Laura Logan posted this. Our judiciary is full of militants and hostile misanthropes. Okay, just look at what happened to Tina Peters, former Mesa County, Colorado clerk, an elected position, jailed for exposing 2020 election fraud, is in rapidly declining health. You know she's being abused in there by the flunkies, okay, the operatives, the bureaucratic elitists. They think they're elite. She's been suffering abuse in prison, yet officials are denying her compassionate release. Trump can't pardon her because they charge her through the state, okay? And but I understand that they are opening up a federal investigation about violating her civil rights, okay? Two can play that damn game. So, but the point is, when you get to where your judges are downright hostile and viciously sentence people in a lopsided way for political purposes, something's got to be done about that. Something's got to be done about that. And that's what I'm thinking is why Chutkin has been siding with the Trump administration. Remember that guy that got arrested and had a green card? They thought, he's got something going because they thought his student visa expired, but he had a green card. Well, anyway, he was back in these protests in Columbia University. I want to show you one. Here's where the dean, her name's Grenache, she needed to use the bathroom and watch how these students act. But this is the kind of crap that's been going on for weeks. Nobody doing anything about it. And this guy that got arrested was helping to organize this stuff, okay, for Hamas. But anyway, let me go ahead and play it.
Guess what? We're gonna boo her while she does it. But we're gonna boo. No, we're not gonna boo. We're gonna boo her. She's stuck under the flag, bro. Yeah. Tough luck. She's a tough one. And there's so much.
So there they are, dressed up in that Palestinian Hamas garb, thinking it's a big joke. We're going to boo her while she does it in the bathroom. Little do they know, these idiots, that if these people got a chance, these people that I was talking about earlier, right here, they would end their lives in the snap of a finger, okay, after they had their way with them. And they have no idea what they're toying with. No idea whatsoever. Here is Senator Kennedy talking about that creep that got arrested. And he's confirming what I said last night. But anyway, let me go ahead and play it, and then I'll talk about it. Let me play that clip.
These are protests, flyers, and views. Do you have any concern when it comes to free speech and the detention of this man?
Well, Mr. Khalil will receive due process because by now his lawyer has already filed a writ of habeas corpus. Mr. Khalil was involved in the protests. He was a Columbia student under the Immigration and Naturalization Act. If you support a terrorist organization, you can be deported. Hamas is a terrorist organization. Mr. Khalil's side of the story, I understand to be that I don't support Hamas. I just support Palestinians. All I did was file post some Facebook posts. I wasn't involved in any of the illegal protests or the illegal occupation.
Wait a minute, it just dawned on me. Something just dawned on me. He said, he said he was supporting Hamas, which is a terrorist group, right? I know who Mahmoud is. Right here. Shalom, Mahmoud. That's Trump saying goodbye. You're getting deported. Am I right? Isn't that the same person? Shalom means hello or goodbye. And Trump posted that picture today. It is not a dated photo. It's just black and white. And he's letting this guy know he's going to be deported. Let me let Senator Kennedy finish his story here.
Of student buildings or physically intimidating the Jewish people and Jewish students. We'll find out who's right. The Immigration and Naturalization Act, though, is fairly broad. And if the administration can show acts directly and probably indirectly supporting Hamas, they'll deport him. And he should be deported if that's what's shown in court.
Yeah, he'll be deported. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Telvin Jost. Another militant judge. Another militant judge. We have got to give the judiciary an enema. An enema. And I believe that's coming. We can't continue to try to function as a country like this with these judges allowing militants to disrupt colleges and do stuff like that. Here we go. Here's another thing that Trump posted today. HUD axes Obama's zoning rule. Let's see what this is about. A zoning rule abolishing a rule on Wednesday that President Trump warned would destroy suburban neighborhoods. This is where they wanted to force people to force localities to put low-income housing, plop them right in the middle of suburban neighborhoods, okay? Protecting America's suburbs and neighborhood integrity. Terminating this rule restores trust in local communities and property owners. So we'll see. A judge will probably try to stop that too. As HUD returns to the original understanding and enforcement of the law without onerous compliance requirements, we can better serve rural, urban, and tribal communities that need access to fair and affordable housing. Yeah, but they were going to put a bunch of mammoos in your backyard or front yard or whatever, and whatever, quote, disadvantaged groups. And Trump has gotten rid of that too. That's something to celebrate. Let's see. Yeah, we need to get rid of these judges. And maybe this is a litmus test for them. I don't know. What's this one? I don't even remember what this clip is. Let me see. What is that? I don't know. Let me play it and I'll see. I don't remember. Ha ha.
Whoopi, it's your favorite president. Why do you hate me so much? I gave all the African Americans jobs. I loved you in the 90s, Whoopi. I loved Rat Race. I loved Ghost. I still love you deep down somewhere, but you need to come around. We used to be pals on the show. We would all hang out. We laughed. Barbara Walters is rolling in her grave right now. You have destroyed her legacy. This show is horrible. You need at least one trans woman on the show. Whoa, Whoopi. Whoopi's chasing after me. Whoopi. Whoopi was the one who ran after me. Guys, Whoopi. Okay, sir. You have great. I gave all these African-American jobs here. Tough guy. We got a tough guy. We got another Baldwin over here.
I don't know what that was all about. It looked like she was coming up to try to hug him or something, and that bald-headed guy wanted to run him off, beat him up. I don't know what was going on. But, yeah, I didn't even remember I took that clip. Whoopi Goldberg. Oh, really, Lori? They cause property rates to drop to increase your mom and dad's tax. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 1950s house they paid 10 times over, and they keep having to pay and pay and pay. I don't know what they're going to do to limit the states on what they can do. Like I said, real estate taxes was jacked way up after the Civil War to help with Reconstruction, and they never got off it. I don't even remember what this clip is about. Let me see. Trump launches, the new self-deportation app. Did you all hear about that? Joe Biden and Kamala had an app to show you how to get in the country really easy, and they shut it down right when Trump was inaugurated. Now they're opening the app up, so when it renews, when it updates, it tells you, we'll help you get the hell out of town, and if you don't, when we catch you, you'll never be able to come back to America again. I'll go ahead and play this report.
DHS is launching a new self-deportation app for illegal immigrants, giving those in the U.S. illegally an incentive to cooperate. And Bill Mallusion is live in L.A. with more. Hi, Bill.
Dana, good morning to you. So this is pretty remarkable. The Trump administration has taken that controversial CBP-1 cell phone app for migrants that the Biden administration was using, and they've repurposed it into a self-deportation app that is officially launching today. And we're getting an exclusive first look at it. Take a look. The app is now called CBP Home. It allows illegal aliens in the U.S. to register to self-deport. They fill out biographical information, including their countries of citizenship, which country they plan to return to, their alien registration numbers, their contact information, and it allows them to upload photos of themselves to confirm their identity. All of it is then submitted to CBP, and they leave the country. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, why would an illegal immigrant want to self-deport? Well, DHS says if they leave now, they will have the opportunity to return to the U.S. legally in the future and chase the American dream. But if they don't leave, they will be found, arrested, detained, and deported with a permanent ban on entry into the United States. In a statement to Fox News, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem said in part, quote, "The Biden administration exploited the CBP One app to allow more than 1 million aliens to illegally enter the United States. With the launching of the CBP Home app, we are restoring integrity to our immigration system. If they don't self-deport, we will find them, deport them, and they will never return." The Biden administration's use of the CBP One app allowed more than 40,000 migrants to come into the U.S. at a port of entry every single month. That totaled nearly 1 million migrants by the end of his presidency. President Trump terminated that app immediately upon taking office, leading to scenes like this, showing migrants dismayed at the border on the day of his inauguration as they learned their CBP One appointments were canceled and were never coming back. And DHS tells me that any migrants who had that CBP One app on their phone will see it automatically update to this new self-deportation app starting today. And DHS can also use the data from the prior CBP One registrations to track migrants for removal. So in a nutshell, Dana, Trump just took Biden's program, which was bringing migrants in, and has now totally repurposed it to get them out. We'll send it back to you.
And I started hearing some radio ads that were mirroring some of the ads from the new secretary on cable. Now they're now on radio, and they're going to be in those countries as well and targeting them so that they know not to come or to go ahead and get themselves out of the country. Thank you, Bill.
Put egg in your shoe and beat it. Get out of here. Get out of here. So, yeah. Let's see. I already put that one up. Wait a second. Jamie White. Well, prayers for Jamie White, right? Donald Trump put this up again, too. Following my previously signed executive orders, ICE proudly apprehended, all right, and detained Mahmoud Khalil. I should have known right there. A radical foreign pro-Hamas student on the campus of Columbia University. This is the first arrest of many to come. We know there are more students at Columbia and other universities across the country who have engaged in pro-terrorist, anti-Semitic, anti-American activity, and the Trump administration will not tolerate it. Many are not students. They are paid agitators. Aha! We find, apprehend, and deport these terrorist sympathizers from our country, never to return again. Now, he's got a wife and kids, they say, okay, or maybe a wife and a family away. I don't know. But she's going to have to go join him. And he can put her in a burqa and not let her drive. All the things they are so enamored with, right? If you support terrorism, including the slaughtering of innocent men, women, and children, your presence is contrary to our national and foreign policy interests, and you are not welcome here. We expect every one of America's colleges and universities to comply. Thank you. And, probably would have been apropos for a president to put it in there in the interests of comity, C-O-M-I-T-Y, but it would have been nice if, well, I'll go ahead and say it for him. We also need the judges to comply, okay, with the law, the Alien Enemies Act, okay, judge. And here we've got, this was yesterday. I didn't get a chance to put this up, folks. Los Angeles man, S-H-O-T, and lost his life while confronting two of these new neighbors we're talking about right now. who were stealing his catalytic converter. Ricky Sanchez was his name. Okay, and while this was going on, the other young man lost his life. Okay, because this was yesterday. He leaves behind a widow and 2 children. 2 children. So we got this rank and open criminality going on. Time to get a hold of it. Trump will not resume military aid to Ukraine until Zelensky leaves the presidency. This is a German paper, Bild reports. The publication writes that the U.S. president sees Zelensky not as a partner, but as an obstacle, and probably wants to force him to leave his post. In other words, if the German publication is not lying, there will be no help for Ukraine until peace is concluded with Russia. Let us recall that Zelensky categorically does not want to leave. Well, people in hell want ice water, Zelensky. Okay, doesn't mean you're going to get it. So anyway, this was, I was going to put this up to start off broadcast, but it got buried. This is where Elon was talking about this massive cyber attack. He brought up again the fact that he is being placed in great danger by assassins. And we heard it on this one report that I played earlier, that Elon's bodyguards have been deputized by the U.S. Marshal Service, where they can carry weapons into Trump events and just about, well, not just about, everywhere in the country and not be challenged, okay? That's the kind of danger he is in. And he says he's tracing where this attack came from. And Doge designer said, first protests against Doge, then Tesla stores attacked. Now X is down. So, yeah, let's hope Space Force can help with that. Here, I've got one more report from overseas. Let's see. Oh, U.S. Senator Mike Lee will be visiting Brazil later this year. Ain't this something? Just what we were talking about, these crazy judges. Well, he's bringing this up about Brazil. Mike Lee, a single judge can inflict immense harm, especially if that judge is trying to weaponize the judicial system to impact electoral politics. If this is happening in Brazil, the U.S. government needs to know about it. I'll be traveling to Brazil later this year with a few of my Senate colleagues and intend to ask some tough questions about Justice Alexandre de Moraes. Remember we called him Egghead? Egghead when I had Oakman on with me? And the alleged political weaponization of Brazil's judicial system. They've got Bolsonaro's jailed, or I guess he's maybe under house arrest. I'm not sure. But they're saying he was involved in a plot to assassinate Lula. This is a report that came out by Breaking 911. A hacking group called Dark Storm Team announces on Telegram that they are behind taking down X multiple times today. Dark Storm Team's history points to geopolitical motives that are pro-Hamas. You know, you can't read what they got there, but it's showing the different times and how they shut it down throughout the day. Dark Storm's team is also allegedly tied in and supposedly allegedly financed through Act Blue. Act Blue. So we shall see. What's this one? Diamond Silk again. I don't know what to make of this, folks. Georgia lawmakers pass a bill allowing the recoupment of costs associated with the election meddling cases. The Georgia Senate passed a bill allowing President Donald Trump and over a dozen individuals to seek compensation for legal expenses related to an attempt to overturn his 2020 election loss in Georgia. So they're removing sovereign immunity for certain people, and Trump is going to be able to get in some back pockets. When do birds sing? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. Jack Posobiec. Catholics push back. Again, oh my God. You know, free speech is one thing. But how does it serve the state's interests at all to allow satanic black masses anywhere in the country, much less at a state capital? Kansas, this is in Kansas, is set to witness a confrontation over a satanic black mass planned to take place in the state capital in Topeka on March 28th. You know, we don't allow people to worship red rum, okay? We don't allow people to worship rioting, law breaking, people being terrorized. We don't allow that. So how can they hide behind religious freedom when they are espousing deceit, okay? Father of lies, anti-biblical precepts that result in loss of life and human misery, okay? That's called criminal, right? So, yeah, the Supreme Court's going to have to make a decision about if you're allowed to outlaw gangs, okay, and arrest people who are gang affiliated, how the hell can you run around saying you're a Satanist and a Satanist to have black masses? So we shall see about that. Let's see, Donald Trump put this up too. Fox and Friends. So he's putting up positive stuff about BLM and almost zero people crossing the border, about this guy getting deported. Then he puts up here, Fox and Friends extends rating lead over MSDNC. Morning Joe loses half its audience since the election. Morning Joe saw its total audience shrink by 40%. From 1.1 million to just 651,000. Who are those maniacs that sit there and watch that garbage? They get their brains infected. He also put this up, and I guess it's supposed to make me feel good. I don't know. President Trump's highest approval rating since the inauguration. The top one is RMG Research at 57%. That just, hey, I'm glad, but still, it makes me worry. Who the hell's this 43%, right? Or 44, according to Rasmussen. What is the matter with these damn people? But the bottom line is, all of these polls, I don't know how many there are, over a dozen, more than that, but big names, like McLaughlin and Associates, every one of them, including Morning Consult, has him 52% or higher. So there isn't any outliers that I see, okay, from any of these big polling companies that show Trump in negative territory. So we got to keep it up. We're rolling. We're like butter. We're on a roll. So, the government, they're going to try to shut down the government, right? That's a card they feel they can play. I had some videos from Mr. T yesterday that I didn't get to play. You all want to do a little round of, I played one at the beginning of my video, Mr. T giving a impromptu press conference on Air Force One. All right, so let me see what this one is. Let me see. It's a quick clip here. Let me play it real quick. Let's see what he says. I got about 4 of these or more.
Disrespecting you by attacking Ukraine when you're trying to make peace there? Is President Putin disrespecting you by attacking Ukraine when you're trying to make peace there?
What did he do?
Well, he's attacking Ukraine.
Is he disrespecting me?
Yeah.
Who are you with?
I'm Michael Burnbaum, the Washington Post.
You've lost a lot of credibility. Go ahead.
Somebody from the Washington Post tried to ask a provocative question. You'll have to replay it again because I didn't know. I couldn't make out what he was saying. But he obviously aggravated Mr. T, and he said, you lost a lot of credibility, and didn't even answer the question. Went to the next one. Let's see what this clip is about. Here. I like it when he smacks him down. Like, he's very polite. He just said, you lost a lot of credibility. Goes to the next person.
I think the tariffs are going to be the greatest thing we've ever done as a country. It's going to make our country rich again. We have many companies, as you know, auto companies. They're opening up plants now. We've had 4 or 5 announced already, but many more are coming. And we're basically going to take back the money, or a lot of the money that we've given away over many decades. We've lost our jobs. We've lost our factories. We've lost 90,000 factories since the beginning of NAFTA. It's not that long ago. 90,000 factories. Think of that. And we're going to get them back. And they're coming back. And they're coming back in records. Look at what happened with the big chip company, the biggest in the world. By far the most powerful chip company in the world, from Taiwan. And they're going in with $200 billion of money, and they're going to build something that's going to give us 35-40% of the chip market in one company. No, it's going to bring it back, and I think it's going to make us bring us to a level that we've never had.
Okay, so he's pointing out we lost 90,000 factories. 90,000 jobs would be disaster, but 90,000 factories? Here's the next clip. He's going to bring them all back, and then some. That was mostly, between the Obama administration and early on the Johnson administration, the deindustrialization of America. But anyway, here's the next clip.
All I know is this: we're going to take in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs. And we're going to become so rich, you're not going to know where to spend all that money. I'm telling you, you just watch. We're going to have jobs. We're going to have open factories. It's going to be...
You're not going to know where to spend all the money. And here's the last one. Let's see what he said. The first one was pretty good, too, if you get a chance at the beginning of the stream.
Look, we have to have peace. And I'm doing this. Money is one thing. We're going to lose. We spent $350 billion on this. But the big thing, human life. Thousands of people this week. Thousands of young soldiers died this week. Hundreds of people died in cities in Ukraine. And we got to get it stopped. It would have never happened if I was president, and it didn't happen. This was not going to happen. By the way, October 7th wouldn't have happened. Inflation wouldn't have happened. The Afghanistan, the way not that they left, but the way that they left, it looks so bad. Probably the most embarrassing day in the history of our country. That wouldn't have happened. A lot of things wouldn't have happened, but it is what it is. I think we're going to have a good time. I think we're going to have a good result in Saudi Arabia, meaning they're hosting the various talks, and we have a lot of good people going out there, and I think Ukraine's going to do well, and I think Russia's going to do well. I think some very big things could happen this week. I hope.
Yes, I read the comments. I leave this picture up because people need to see. They need to see what they're dealing with. What do you want to have in your government? Do you want to have Donald Trump or do you want to have that? Do you want to have a demon rat, hood rat? Is that what you want? Or do you want to have Mr. T coming in as the Punisher? What do you want? What do you want? So I'll leave Mr. T up as the Punisher. So let me see here. I got some stuff. What is today? Oh my gosh. Tuesdays. I don't broadcast on Tuesdays, folks. Now, if something big happens tomorrow, I will go live, right? Hi, Christina. How you doing? And I want to thank everybody who helped me buy me a coffee. Bev and Mike helped out last night. I appreciate that. And earlier in the week, it was Gary and Miss Bender Sue and Angela. I appreciate it. And I have a link in the description if anybody wants to help me out. And I hope you all remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, I'm wondering what the heck is going on. Go ahead and subscribe so you can know when I go live, right? And anything that I didn't pick up tonight, we can go over the next time I go live. So let me see. I've got a nice video that you all will enjoy. And there's a pair of scissors down below in your YouTube toolbar. If you slide where you give, this is Kim Runner put this up, spiritual warfare. Okay, Bobby Kennedy. You guys can go to the scissors that are located in your toolbar and clip this and text them to your friend or post this on Facebook, folks. Okay? You can do that with any part of my videos. I don't care. Make your own videos. I do not care. As long as we get the word out right. So, thank you for spending your precious time with me. I hope you enjoy this clip. Okay, folks? We'll be getting together soon. This is Mountain Man. Over and out.
This is not just economic warfare. It's not just chemical warfare. We're all involved in the spiritual warfare. Over the 20,000 generations of human beings that have lived on this planet before us, the primary biological drive and spiritual drive has been to make sure that their kids were safe. And it's extraordinary today that these profit-making corporations have used their capacity to control our government and to control the media to turn us all against that most fundamental biological drive. We are destroying our kids, and we're doing it because we're being manipulated to do it through all of the institutions of government. If a foreign nation did this to our country, we would consider an act of war. It is un-American. These companies have been allowed through the profit motive to destroy everything that we value in America. And we have now become the worst country in the world from the key metric by which every success of a nation can be measured, which is, are we giving our children a chance to live better lives than we do? We need to stop hating each other. And that's only going to happen when we start loving our children more than we hate each other. And when that happens, we're going to be able to recover, and very, very quickly. The appeal that I would make to Americans is that there's no such thing as Republican children or Democratic children. And we can take our country back from these industries, and we can restore not only our democracy and the integrity of it, but most important of all, we can begin restoring our children's health.